They said our wedding was straight out of a fairy tale, ivy-covered chapel, string quartet. My mother cried during the vows, and her father, always stoic, actually smiled during our first dance. The sky was the kind of blue you don't see often, cloudless, cinematic. Mara was radiant, not in the cliché way. There was a quiet power in her. She didn't need a spotlight. She was one. Her dress was vintage lace, sleeves to the wrist. She'd tucked a pressed violet from her late grandmother's garden into her bouquet. Even the priest said we seemed inevitable. We were happy, in love. But there were signs in retrospect. Her laughter would sometimes fade too quickly. Her gaze would linger at doorways or reflect something I couldn't see. Once during dinner, she whispered, "There's something I've never told you." But then she kissed me and said, "Forget it, it doesn't matter anymore." I forgot it. I shouldn't have. The honeymoon suite was in an old inn on the coast. She chose it, said she loved rooms with history. The walls smelled faintly of salt and old books. The fireplace glowed low. We kissed, giddy and tired, our hands still smelling of champagne and lilies. She told me she was going to change. "Don't peek," she teased, slipping into the bathroom. She never came out. At first, I waited. 5 minutes, 10. I knocked. No answer. I opened the door. No Mara, no window, no exit. Just the white tiles, a humming vent, and her engagement ring sitting in the porcelain sink like a silver punctuation mark. I remember falling to my knees, calling her name. I opened the cabinet under the sink. Nothing. I tapped the walls like a lunatic. I screamed. Staff came running. The manager swore the blueprints showed no secret passage. It made no sense. She was gone. The police were called. So were her parents. My mother fainted. I was questioned for hours, though no charges were filed. The room was searched by every authority. Even a couple of paranormal investigators showed up, uninvited, after the news aired. News vans camped outside the inn for weeks. Bride disappears after wedding night. They showed my face on TV, said I looked too calm, too detached. As if grief had a script I was supposed to follow. Her family turned cold. Her sister once spit at my feet outside a courthouse. Mara's bank accounts were untouched. Her phone never pinged again. Eventually, the headlines faded. The police stopped calling, but I didn't. I quit my job, sold the house, moved into a small apartment lined with newspaper clippings, maps, theories. I couldn't let go. I visited the inn dozens of times. Once I stayed for weeks, timing water pressure, watching the bathroom mirror for signs. I knocked on tiles with a rubber mallet. Nothing. Psychics reached out. I met with two. Both said things like, "She crossed over," or "She's trapped in between." I didn't believe them, but I wanted to. Her wedding dress hung in my closet, still smelling like rosewater. I never dated again. Sometimes I'd dream of her. Not as she was, but older, sadder. She'd try to speak, but her mouth wouldn't move, or she'd be behind glass, mouthing something I couldn't hear. I always woke up sweating, clutching her ring. 7 years to the day, June 21st. I returned from the cemetery. I always left a violet on the empty plot with her name. When I got home, the envelope was waiting. No stamp, just my name, in Mara's handwriting. Inside, one sentence, "Don't look for me, I'm saving you." That night, I didn't sleep. I spread the letter across the floor under a black light. Checked for fingerprints, nothing. But the handwriting, it was hers. I knew every loop and flourish. I remembered once she said, "If I ever disappear, don't come after me." Promise? I laughed at the time. I thought she was joking. What did she mean? Saving me. Saving me from what? I traced the envelope's fibers, no return address. But the paper was unusual, thick, handmade, the kind sold at a single boutique she used to frequent in a coastal town 3 hours south. I drove there. The shop owner remembered Mara, said she bought 5 sheets of that paper a week before our wedding. And then, she whispered, she told me something strange, that she was preparing for a journey only she could take. My hands shook. I asked if she knew where Mara went. The owner looked at me, sad. "Number, but if you go after her, you may not come back either." I drove to the cliff near the inn that night, sat by the sea. Then I noticed something, a symbol etched into the rock. I hadn't seen it before, a ring, broken in two, the same shape Mara once doodled in the margins of her journals. Below it, fresh chalk. "It's still not safe." I turned around. No one, but I felt someone watching, and I finally understood. She didn't leave me. She protected me from something darker than I could imagine. And maybe she still was. For 3 days after finding the symbol on the cliff, I didn't leave my apartment. I barely ate. I couldn't stop staring at the engagement ring Mara had left behind, now sitting next to the letter on my kitchen table. 2 relics from a life I no longer understood. I began noticing strange patterns. People I'd never seen before standing too long outside my building. A man in a grey coat watching my window from across the street. Every time I tried to confront him, he'd vanish around a corner. One night, I turned on the television. Every channel showed static for a few seconds. Just as I was about to shut it off, I heard her voice, faint and garbled, beneath the white noise. "Don't trust the mirror." Then it was gone. I returned to the Coastal Inn, breaking in after dark. The suite had been closed since Mara's disappearance. No one wanted to rent the haunted honeymoon room. I stood in the same bathroom where she vanished, the air thick with silence. That's when I saw the mirror. There was something different about it. The reflection wasn't quite right, a half-second delay, a subtle shimmer. I reached out, touched glass. It was cold, but for a moment my reflection didn't move. Instead, it smiled. I stumbled back. The light above flickered, then went out. And in the dark I heard it, a whisper. Not Mara's, deeper, malevolent, ancient. She broke the pact. Terrified, I fled to a motel. That night, I dug into every file I had, every photograph, journal and map. Something clicked. A photo Mara once took on a road trip, a blurry roadside motel in New Mexico. I'd always assumed she took it by accident, but in the corner was the same broken ring symbol I saw on the cliff. I searched online, nothing. But when I reverse image searched with an old photo of her sketchbook, a single result popped up. The Veil, Anomalous Disappearances and Voluntary Departures. An out-of-print book, published in the 70s, banned from major stores. The author, Dr. Lenora Keene, missing since 1981. I tracked down a surviving copy in an antique bookstore 4 hours away. The book was brittle, pages yellowed. But the contents chilled me. Dr. Keene described a hidden threshold in the world, a place where reality thins, called the Veil. Only those attuned to it can cross. Some vanish by accident. Others go willingly to protect someone from what's on the other side. Those who cross into the Veil often leave signs, rings, symbols, warnings. Time warps near Veil thresholds. Some report their loved ones returning with altered memories, or not returning at all. I read until dawn, and then I found it, a chapter titled The Mirror Doors. Mirrors are not just reflections, some are gateways, especially in old buildings near coastlines. They require a sacrifice, a vow broken, a warning left behind. The next night, I returned home to find another envelope taped to my mirror. Same handwriting, no stamp. Inside, "You're close, but they're watching. If you open the mirror, you must promise not to follow me, or you'll wake them." Beneath the letter, in invisible ink revealed only under heat, was a set of coordinates. Somewhere in the Arizona desert, right outside a decommissioned Air Force base. I made the drive, slept in my car, waited. At the coordinates was a decaying rest stop. Inside, a rusted bathroom with a shattered mirror, except one panel remained intact, etched faintly in the glass. "I'm here." My hands trembled. I looked at my reflection. Behind me, in the mirror, stood Mara. Not older, not aged, just as she was 7 years ago, her eyes desperate. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Then she held up a hand, pressed it to the glass. So did I. The mirror began to hum. A wind rose inside the room. The walls shook. My ring finger burned. Mara's ring in my pocket now hot to the touch. And a voice echoed inside my head, louder this time. "You step through. You don't come back. Choose." Final lines, cliffhanger and twist. I looked one last time into her eyes. I whispered, "Tell me the truth, Mara. Who are you saving me from?" This time her voice came through, clear as thunder. "Me!" The mirror shattered. Darkness bloomed like ink in water, and everything went silent.